Viv, I've lost. I've got you. Okay.
Well, I haven't got Adam or plus 2 more. I've only got 4 on the screen.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed anymore with this one. I think with Zoom you can have hundreds. So I've had a whole of VoiceWorks choir on here with Lynn.
Change the layout.
I've tried that.
Well, I've changed the layout to tile cascade.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Hi, Nick.
All right.
See you. Oh, now I've got Keith. I still haven't got. I've lost Adrian.
I'm still there. It's just because I'm not talking. I think it changes focus onto the person that's talking. Have I appeared now on everyone's screens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, shall we try and make a start, guys?
Yes.
All right, well, you need to indicate to me somehow that you want to talk, and then I can invite you in. So you should have the agenda in front of you, which is the minutes of the last 2 meetings we had, which we've already approved, so that's fine. Second item is welcome to Chris. Where are you, Chris?
He's not logged on.
I don't think
Doesn't appear to be on.
No.
Okay. Third item, is there anything more we should be doing to support the community at the moment? So I'll just go round. Edwina, what do you think?
I can't think of anything, but what I would like to say is that what is in place is working exceptionally well. I've been speaking with the parishioners in Broadhembury and contacts with myself. It's been working really well.
Okay, good. Nick?
No, I think what we've been doing so far so good, really.
Is there anything else you can think of? Who supports up at Causeway End? Is it you?
I don't know who the phone. I can't remember who the phone contact is, but if any, I've been and got a few things for people as they wanted it. And one of the guys has a delivery every Saturday from Waitrose, so he's told everybody else to add things to his if they need it.
Okay, great. Viv, what are they doing in Payhenbury? Are they doing anything else we can learn from?
Well, it's mainly done through the shop, and you may be aware that they are letting lots of different people now open accounts, so people can just go and put it on an account and not have to pay until the end of the month, so there's no handling of cash. They've got a volunteer list as long as about 3 arms, amazing, of people willing to help out with deliveries, and people have also been helping out, picking up prescriptions and taking prescriptions in. But it's the shop rather than the parish council, I think, that are leading it.
Okay. Adrian, what's happening at Collerton?
Not a lot, really. We've got some bits for Ivor, but it's, we're a bit quiet down here. There's nothing out of the ordinary going on.
Okay. Is there anyone else in this call I've missed?
Me.
Adam.
Oh, hi,
Yeah.
Adam. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Thanks.
Adam, we're just on
Yeah.
item 3. What more should we be doing? Can you think of anything else we should be doing?
Well, I just wonder about the people that are reluctant to ask for help, and whether it's worth, I don't know how many vulnerable people you think there are in the parish, and whether we can divide them up and ring them. That's possibly one thing we could do. Or maybe less invasive could be putting up contact number for the Samaritans on notice boards, something like that. But that's just ideas I would have, really.
Okay, just going up on notice boards, maybe today or tomorrow when Keith gets it up, is the confirmed list of all the local contact people, with also the phone number for East Devon District Council's Community Hub, which should be providing the links with vulnerable people. They should be providing meals, and they should be securing they're okay. They've had a problem with setup, and I don't know if they've solved it yet, but they should be doing all that. So people have at least 3 points of contact. In fact, they have a 4th because we're giving them the parish council call number, aren't we, Aid?
Yeah, that all works, as far as I know, yep.
So I'm kind of hoping, Adam, that we're probably doing all right at the moment.
Good.
Adam, Sarah appreciated your call of support. Thank you.
That's right.
Keith, anything going on with you?
No, not really. I put up all your notices that you kindly done this morning around, so they're all up.
Brilliant. Keith, this is very sophisticated. You're doing well.
I'm still here taking an interest, trying to.
I can just see the top of your head, but never mind. Don't worry. I know you're there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we think of anything, we must sort of try and make sure it happens. Anything at all that you think might be within our competence and might actually improve people's ability to survive this, probably, I suspect, well into the summer, I'm afraid. Any other thoughts on that? Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know whether Adrian put on the website, but the Drew Arms are doing takeaways, and Forest Foods are willing to deliver. And
Councillor Bradshaw, have you not been keeping up to date with your own website?
oh, apologies.
Have a look. It's all up there.
Good, excellent.
Okay, good. All right. Next thing is neighbourhood plan. I'm not planning to do, as no pun intended, I'm not planning to do any more work on it for the moment until we decide how and if we want to respond to advice from the working group. When the working group advises about the Community Land Trust, because all the subsequent papers stem from having completed the plan. So I'm proposing just to hold it for the moment. Are you all happy with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Dulford traffic speed. Adam, is there anything else we can do on that?
I don't think there's an enormous amount, but what we could do is just when you drive through to see how obvious the signs are. I think we're restricted on what signs the residents can put up individually that aren't council signs, but just looking at how obvious and the placement of the signs, the vegetation and that sort of thing, possibly they could be made more visible. Personally, I always have to remind myself to slow down there. Now I'm more aware of the problem I do, but I certainly didn't before. I'm guilty of that. So possibly the placement of the signs of the vegetation, we could just observe it and come back with some comments on that as a place we all drive through.
I think their bin things have been quite good. As they got all the 30s now on all their bins, haven't they? It's a fairly good reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam, I think the only way we're really going to progress this is by getting everyone together when we can, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And focusing their minds and making the county council aware of it and progressing that way. But certainly got Philip Skinner on the case at the moment, and he recommended getting Neil Parish down as well. So when we're ready, I think we should do that.
Okay. All right. So we can't proceed on that at the moment. I did have a summary from Bronwyn, but it wasn't quite as summarised as I had hoped it would be. But never mind, it will do.
I am here, by the way. Sorry, my webcam's not working at the moment. So, but
oh, hi, Chris.
Hopefully you can hear me.
Hi, Chris. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
Chris, I'm getting a very studio shot of you come up when you talk.
Oh, is that yeah? That will be because the my webcam is I still don't have my hands on a webcam at the moment, so this is literally the best I can do at the moment with some audio anyway.
Okay, well, welcome. We did earlier say welcome to the parish council, so it's slightly unusual circumstances, but nice to have you with us.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Rural traffic speed. I was going to ask Dyer, but I don't think we can do anything more on that. Dyer is not well. She might have the virus, or she might have another virus. She doesn't know, but she's not able to join us, I'm afraid. Adam, I think we'll have to put the tree planting on hold for a bit, won't we, in the car park?
Yeah, definitely. I did water the tree that we've been given by the county council. It's about 10 foot tall, actually. It's a lovely tree, so I'll look after it in the meantime.
What is it?
Oh gosh, it's a cherry. It's not a wild cherry. It's a cultivated cherry that was peculiar to North Devon. Used to be sold in the markets about 100 years ago, and the variety is called Dun, D-U-N, for whatever that means. Now it's a type of cherry, and I can't remember what type of cherry. My mind has just gone blank. That sort of thing. So there you go. But it's a very good quality tree. It's a grafted tree, probably worth about £100 if you bought it from Thornhays. So
okay. Are you all right hanging on to it for the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. First aid courses for parishioners. You remember we had agreed to do that, but we hadn't proceeded with it because we were tied up with other things.
Yeah, that was on me. I'm just elapsed actually, so I'm going to. We normally use St John's Ambulance here, so I'll just tack one on. If anybody fancies doing one, I'll get a price, and it's not much, but it'll just be an emergency first aid at work type course for a day. So if anybody fancies, I think Viv was keen.
Adrian, it's my mistake. I had thought Viv was doing it. I didn't realise you were doing it. So
that was all on me.
I'll just take the rap for everything. Don't worry.
Well, I'd spoken with Viv privately so as not to embarrass him, and said I was going to ask Chris to investigate it.
No. It's definitely not Viv's fault for once.
Yeah. Once all this kerfuffle is over, we do need to have a new responder course for the defibrillator.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, for CPR.
Yeah.
We can probably tack it onto that actually. Yeah. All right.
Can we?
Possibly. When I did my last one, we had defibrillator training on my last one, which is why I didn't get involved in the parish council thing that you did last time. So
well,
I will find out.
Can you and I speak, Adrian,
if you're good,
separately about putting something on the website about having some new volunteers to join the emergency responder?
Yeah, because you've kind of got your own page, I think, on there, haven't you?
We have got our own advertisement in there. Yeah. So okay. If we can do that and invite anyone who wants to join your course, I'd be grateful.
Yeah, no problem at all. I mean, obviously at the moment we just can't say when it's going to be, but
no.
The other thing is, funny enough, beside my desk, I've got the plastic thing that you had knocked up for the vet's number.
That's it. That's the one.
Does that number still work?
Yes, it does.
And
what I'm saying is we now need some new people to join because the likes of Roger Hill has moved on.
So who's on that list then at the moment?
Very few, only about 6.
And the list
I can let you have the list. Yeah. The likes of Alison Chappell, Alison Chipperfield and people like that's on.
Right.
John and Jenny. But that's what I'm saying. I think we need that updating now. There's been a terrific movement of people in Broadhembury.
Okay, Aid, can I leave you to talk with Edwina separately about that?
Yes.
I did get some, I did get some information back from the first aid courses, because after you asked me, I contacted a few British Red Cross as well. I did also get some information back from a few other companies.
Okay, Chris, so why not talk with Adrian separately about it? Because I've completely messed up here. I got the wrong person. I was thinking, Aid, of something which could be certificated, and we offer openly to parishioners on the e-newsletter.
Yeah, can do. I mean, I'll find out what we can do as a venue and what we could do maybe at a subsidised rate. If you leave it with me, I'll find out. But obviously, at the moment, there's nothing going to happen in a hurry.
No. Okay,
it can
Chris.
always be used in the hall.
Sorry.
We can always use the hall.
Yeah, could do. Yep.
I think, to be honest, Aid, we probably should use the hall for PR purposes.
Yes.
But I'll leave it with you to talk with Edwina and Chris about.
Yeah, no worries.
Next thing, playground safety audits. Dan, are you with us?
Yes, he is.
Wixie, if you can hear this, your mic.
He's on mute.
I'll send him a WhatsApp.
Oh, there's even less of Keith now. Keith, you're sinking.
Well, I've sent him a message, Bob, so you may as well just trash on to the next thing. And if he comes back,
Microphone and camera not functioning, right.
Okay, well, I'll skip that item and come back to it in case in case he gets online. Item 10, the formal relationship with the CIO. Edwina, I know you need to declare an interest, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
It was going to cost 2,000 for our solicitors' fees and probably 2,000 for theirs. And then I don't know what the big lottery would have charged or how long it would have taken them. I don't think it's viable for the price. I wonder what we could do instead, maybe an exchange of letters.
well, my initial thoughts were if only we had an in-house lawyer. But she's probably busy. Yeah.
She is a barrister.
Well, I did ask Dyer originally if she would help with it, but she declined because of professional indemnity and various other things. She was a bit cautious about getting involved in it, understandably. So if we're going to do it, either we do an informal exchange of letters to make it clear, and we just say that the nominal rental is £1, and we put whatever conditions we want to put on it, or we just leave it. I mean, we could just leave it completely unsaid, I suppose. But then the two of you who went on the VAT course were advising against that, weren't you?
Well, this wasn't really a VAT issue. That, I wasn't concerned from a VAT point of view. I think, as far as I'm concerned, the VAT stuff has gone to bed. This was much, I think it was me that flagged it, and it was just much more a question of ownership, and a potential problem that could arise, at point X in the future. But it certainly isn't. We could sit on this for months and not worry about it. Okay,
well, maybe we just leave it for the moment. What do the rest of you think?
I think, Bob, that we've got two trust deeds in place, the original one and the one for the extended car park. And that they actually declare the ownership to be with the parish council and the hall to have use. And I think that's probably quite sufficient.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the point for me was, it's it maintains that formal landlord-tenant relationship between the two parties, which should preclude, a claim of adverse possession. But I wouldn't say there's any enormous risk of that at the moment. So I'm happy for the issue to go quiet.
The original trust deed from the 1920s does not mention rental at all. It just gifts the land to the parish council for the use of the memorial hall.
Yeah, so I've never seen that trust deed. So I mean, if that a lawyer may very well say that is sufficient. That it outlines who owns what. I've certainly never seen deeds either. So if the deeds, if the trust deed is okay and the land registry side of things is okay.
Yeah. They are.
Okay, but since that trust deed, Edwina, two other pieces of land have been added. which we've allowed them to use. One is a small car park, and the other is the extension to the car park. So we were going to cover those as well.
Yes.
So
And there are conditions.
The small car park was bought.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was.
It was bought. Yeah.
By the parish council.
Yes.
Yeah, and there are conditions attached to both of them. That was the issue. I think we were going to cover in the deal. That's why he said it was going to cost so much. He said the conditions were quite complicated to make them watertight about use and so on. But anyway, let's leave it for the moment.
I think Viv wanted to come in.
yeah, I was just wondering if we can get some that have already been put forward by other organisations, other parish councils. You know, if there are examples in existence, then why do we need to pay to have the wheel reinvented?
I don't know if there are, Viv, actually, because it's quite an unusual arrangement, to be honest.
Right.
I haven't discovered any.
Not sure what you're doing with your hand there, Bob.
I'm just trying to see you all. The solicitor we went back to was with the same firm that we'd used to handle the conveyance in the first place, and he said he'd not come across something quite like this. He said he didn't say it was complex, but quite like this. So I don't know quite what the solution is. Perhaps he would. Anyway, let's leave it.
Agreed.
Okay, for now, yeah.
Work on the footpaths. I was going to ask Dyer. Keith, you've been in consultation with Dyer about this?
Yes. Only very briefly, a couple of small emails, and just wanted to know who was our grass cutter on the footpaths. Well, we don't really now have a grass cutter as such. The man that's taken on doing the playgrounds, etc. hall, the playground committee decided not to have him and do it this year on their own. He was quite willing to come. Now, whether Dyer wanted him to take on any tidying up, but in the meantime, we had an email from County Council saying that they were going to take on the grass cutting in this peculiar year because their people are insured for this and that, and they would rather do it under the circumstances this year. So I don't know exactly what Dyer has responded to County with.
Okay. Is there anything that needs doing as far as you're concerned, as far as you know?
So Dyer asked who cut the grass on the footpath, and really, other than the footpath from Colton up to Grange Road, I've got no idea. Farley's cut that one when they hedge trim once a year in the autumn. But who cuts the rest? A lot of them go across farmers' fields, of course, and they would be looked after in that instance. But when you get up top towards the glider field, I don't know what goes where and whether it's more or less hardcore that the footpaths are on, or Eric Bird looks after the stiles, any branches down, etc., etc.
Okay,
but I think it's in the hands at the moment between Dyer and County.
Okay, because the work that Eric does for us, he can't do at the moment, can he?
No.
Okay, so we'll leave it to Dyer to talk to County.
Yeah.
Presumably, Eric would be happy to be reinstated.
Oh yeah, Eric is quite happy to do his remedial work with branches, stiles, gates.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah.
Could I just mention one very small patch, but it is important, and that is the triangle in Broadhembury. John Bull has done that for many years. John Bull is very ill now. Do you know which I mean? The one opposite the shop?
Yeah.
I might be able to help there. Sue Wilkinson, who lives opposite the triangle and looks after, in inverted commas, the bench. She and Tina Gray, according to Sue Wilkinson, are looking after the triangle.
And I noticed Red-Faced Joe had trimmed up all around the edge the other day there.
That's okay then. It's in hand.
Seems to be taken care of. Okay. We'll leave that to Dyer to talk with County when she's better. Climate alleviation projects. I sort of sense that none of us are too keen to take on any of these just at the moment, unless we know of a parishioner who would be willing, or who we could persuade to take on one. Yep.
I think at the moment, in the present climate, people are probably too preoccupied to really put a great deal of effort into this, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. What do the rest of you think?
Actually, there is a chap, Nick might know him. He lives on North Hill. We did a planning there a few weeks ago, and he's got something to do with climate change. Young man with...
Oh, yes, the people in Robert's cottages, yeah, the guy on the right. Laura's husband, I can't remember what he's called, yeah.
Is he not something to do with climate change?
Yes, he is something to do with that. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I know who you mean.
Is it worth Nick having a word with him, Bob?
I think they'd be quite keen to come on board and do something, because she's volunteered if we need anything to give her a shout or anything. But whether we need to do it now or wait till it calms down a bit and then sort of get him involved, I would have thought that'd be probably the way forward. But I think he'd be willing to help.
Who knows him best? Do you know him, Nick?
Yeah, I sort of know.
Would you like to ask him if he'd like to start thinking about one of the top 6 things on the list?
Yep. I've got to remember what it's called first, but yeah.
For later. Because some of those things we had provisionally agreed we could provide funding for. So something simple like the compost bins, for example. But there are other things as well we could possibly do.
Yeah, I'll ask Stephen.
But I agree, not a lot's going to happen on this till the autumn. Okay, item 13 is about these meetings. On Saturday, the law was changed, which enabled local authorities to hold these meetings using any medium they like, really. And I had already thought that for the next meeting, we would invite members of the public to join as well. But the decision we have to make is, as well as having video, do we also have audio, as in telephone conferencing, and do we live stream at the same time? In which case, I wouldn't know and you wouldn't know exactly who was listening in. So what do you think? Aid, what's your view first?
We should be able to live stream this technically, so that anybody could go on and have a look at it. In terms of dialing in, I think I should test it now really and just see if I can work out if I'm going to know if somebody's dialing in.
I mean, to be honest, my preference would be to try and manage just one medium rather than having different media to sort out. And also, we know who's there.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and dial in and see if it comes up so that I know.
Chris, what do you think about this?
I personally, I think if you allow more people to dial in, unless we know who they are, it potentially could be. It could not necessarily asking for trouble, but there's a potential that you might get some people that want to be quite outspoken, I think, rather than listening to reason.
Yeah. Okay.
You joined it.
Yeah, you saw all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it didn't give the full number though.
It did. It's not a full number.
It just gives the last 2 digits of it, Aid.
Yeah.
Bob, I think that the fewer mediums that are involved, the more control can be kept. It gets too messy.
Yeah, I agree. Aid, I think it's possible on this to attach documents, isn't it?
You can do all sorts. You can use chat. I think you can also present screens as well. So somebody could present something from their screen if they were so inclined. But yes, I think we can attach documents somewhere, so we can share them around.
So my thought was that we would publicly on the notice boards, Keith, tell people when we were going to do it.
Yeah.
Give them the URL, that's the web address they need to click on, and give them the code for the meeting, but also tell them to tell you by email that they'd like to join it.
Yeah.
And also give you some idea, or give us some idea of, you know, which particular item they'd like to speak on, because then at least we've got a chance of, you know, engaging with them when they want to, rather than missing it completely.
Yeah.
Who's controlling this call at the moment? Is that Adrian or you, Bob?
Adrian is.
Well, I set it up, but at that point, and I think I'm in charge of the recording side of it, but
because on Zoom, the person who sets the meeting up has the ability to mute everybody else.
That would be really handy, I think.
Yeah, that's true, but I think you can do that, Aid, on this, can't you?
Well, if I try and mute Nick, mute Councillor Nick Howgill for everyone on the call. Only Councillor Nick Howgill can unmute themselves.
No, you don't want that. I'm just thinking that if you wanted the public to be able to dial in but not contribute, a la a normal parish council meeting, you would want them muted.
Yeah, I could definitely mute them like that. I just muted Nick, although he's got the right. But I think we would just say to people, you know, we need to keep order from this meeting. Please join us. Please view. If you've got something you want to say, you know, email before the meeting, but behave on the day.
Well, that's assuming that is what would happen.
Well, we haven't got that many people. You know, there's no one's going to come on board who's going to cause trouble over them.
Well, Aid, it kind of depends on how contentious the item is, and if this goes on
forever. I mean, if we end up doing this for the rest of time, sufficient to the day is the evil thereof.
Oh my goodness!
So, are you going along with the fact that we just have one medium?
I think we try this again for a public meeting. We set up a public link so people can come on board. In fact, I'm going to get my sister-in-law right now. She can test it, and we can see if we can see if it works, perhaps. You know, because she's outside of our domain. In fact, it does work because Viv is technically not logged on in his parish council account at the moment. So it's just a question of okaying whoever comes on. I think we try it and see what happens and deal with the problems as they arise.
Okay. What about, I know you're recording now. Keith, is that going to help you if we record it?
If we do what?
Well, this meeting is being recorded. Is that going to help you with the minutes or not?
Well, that would be quite handy, seeing, you know, I could get a little bit lost.
Yeah, I mean, I tested it this week and it works. I mean, the video, the file size was tiny because it was only a 10-second test. This could be something quite different because obviously we've been on the go for half an hour. But you know, we'll give it a try once this is finished. Keith, recording, and I'll send you the link, and you can have a look your end to see what you think.
Yeah.
Do we make the record
at the moment? I'm fine, but when if it was Dyer or Dan speaking, I have difficulty with those two hearing them at a council meeting as such on occasions.
Okay. Do we make the recording available to the public or not?
Well, that's the way the world's going, isn't it? I think when you look at East Devon District Council, I'm sure their meetings are videoed and available online. I'm sure Devon County are. You know, I mean, we're not at that level really. I don't think that, nobody's screaming for it, but
they normally have the minutes anyway, don't they?
That is true. You can access their meetings. The audio of their meetings you can access. But the question is, do we want to do it? We have a choice about it. We don't have to do it, but we could. Adam, do you have Adam? My picture must mean.
I think it's worth trialing, and I think particularly at the moment it'd be worth having a forum for people in the parish to see how they're getting on and share opinions, because this is a closed group. So if it's serving the parish, I think the parish should have a forum, not necessarily for the whole meeting, but there ought to be an item on any agenda where the parish can voice how they're getting on and what they think could happen, maybe could be improved. That's what I feel.
Adam, does that lead you to suggesting that the full audio should be made available afterwards to the public?
I can't really see anything wrong with that. It makes us careful what we say, and that's fine, I suppose. I don't think anyone would have any interest in it, to be honest.
Well, it does change the nature of the meeting, actually.
Yes. But they've got access to the minutes, haven't they? So.
Yeah, but the minutes don't capture the quick repartee and the smart comments that everyone makes.
True. Or the way they make them. Yeah.
That could be a plus point then.
I think maybe what we should do to start with, we publish the fact and we invite the public to take part in the next meeting in a video like this. But we don't at this stage. I think we do this experimentation in stages, and we provide the audio to Keith, and then we make a decision later as to whether or not we make the audio available. And for the moment, we don't include, just online streaming randomly to anyone who wants to join it. So we need some indication from people that they want to join, then we can include them. And the next time will be May. I don't think we are required to hold the annual meeting, but we are required to hold the AGM and a normal parish council meeting. And that means what the government have decreed is that all of the appointments, all of the officers, the appointments we make at the normal annual meeting just roll over for another year if we want to do that. So we just continue, if we want to, with the chairman, the deputy chairman, the person who does the footpaths, the person who does this, the person who does that, appointing our auditor, all of that stuff. We can leave it for another year, or we can take a view on it. It's entirely up to us. So have a think about that and get back to me by email, whichever you think is going to be the most appropriate. That is how I interpret the government regulation at the moment, but it's not. We have not had the definitive NALC, National Association of Local Government, view on this, but that's what I think is going to happen. You all okay with that?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Let's go round. Edwina.
Nothing.
Oh, thanks, Dan. Dan said yes. Viv, anything else?
Not from me. No, not at the moment.
Viv, the background looks very neat and tidy. You've obviously moved in. Well,
I've tidied it up specially. I've chosen the background very carefully.
Okay, Nick, anything else?
No, I think that's it. Thanks.
Aid, we'll have a separate talk about how this went some other time.
Yep, and I'll send everyone the link to the recording, and you can see how useful or not that is. The only other thing, did everybody get your letter from the Prime Minister? He may not be Prime Minister by the end of the day, of course, but
I opened it yet.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Bit out of date. And a waste of money. But anyway, apart from that, yeah.
Adrian, did you understand the chart in the accompanying booklet? It's absolutely ridiculous. Person A, person B, person C. Do you understand that?
Well, I thought about it because was it Matt Hancock or the other lad who only did 7 days, and he looked to be not quite in the spirit of things, because it seems to me person C, who didn't have any symptoms, seemed to have a longer isolation than person A, who had the symptoms. So I'm no epidemiologist, but I didn't quite understand all that.
Well, it's completely confusing, totally confusing, because the light pink is not clear what the light pink is. The white obviously is everyone's okay, but what the white pink means is a complete mystery. And why does person D have to go into complete lockdown for so long? Presumably person D is a child related to A and B, but that's not clear.
Pink? Are you colourblind?
Ridiculous.
Looking for the light pink? You mean the red line?
You mean the green?
Sorry, green, light green.
Well, I was a bit worried. I think what it is they're assuming that if people have got the symptoms, they've actually got the virus. And that's where I think it falls down. because people think they've had the symptoms, think they got the virus and then got some immunity. But that actually might, of course, not be the case. And therefore, they shouldn't leave isolation because they could still be susceptible until there's a proper test.
Well, totally confusing. How many millions did it cost to send out this thing? 14, isn't it? Wasn't it?
5.7, I thought it was, but yeah, it still could have been spent on a few ventilators, but there you go.
Okay. Well, let's not get political because we have a rule about that.
Yes, I know. I'm not. I'm just making an observation.
Okay, Adam, anything else?
No, that's fine. It's fine.
Keith.
Yeah, batteries.
All right, Gene.
We've got Jean there.
I've fallen off the table.
Keith,
Yes,
have you
Bob.
got any other points?
No, nothing at all.
Okay, and Dan, I think you can hear us. I think you're just no. Dan says no. Okay, Dan, we need to fix your camera and your mic. I think, don't we? Maybe because Dyer's not well. Maybe you could borrow hers next door. Anyway, thank you all guys for joining. Nice to see you all looking well, and we're just ending with 2 minutes to go, so that's great.
Yeah, it's true about hard surfaces.
Yeah. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Adrian.
Yeah, thanks,
Bye,
Adrian.
everyone, and
Thank
we'll
you very much.
Bye.
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 Bye bye.